Recent interview with a US magazine, a feature piece, it's wrong to call it an interview, apparently a close source, very close to Meghan in fact, detailed about her new life. People though were more transfixed by the continually airbrushed picture on the front cover, almost unrecognisable. Could barely tell, of course, that she was from Nigeria. You get the picture. And what I found fascinating about this was the fact that all of these quotes were given from a friend, you know, the sort of thing. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because as you can understand exactly how the mainstream media want to make sure that they keep together with whoever they're deciding to promote, this, as ever, is where it got really interesting. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time. You all right today? I'm not bad, thank you. A brand new month, of course, and you know, we're already careering into it, aren't we? September, I know you'll be looking at Christmas cards next. Don't. And who can afford to send one? Tell me, do you still send Christmas cards, by the way? I think there's nothing nicer than getting a card through the post, even if you've got to save up for the stamp now, particularly over here. The card's cheap. Have you noticed? You can pick up a card, a really nice one, relatively cheap, but it's the stamp, isn't it? Then you have to wonder, well, will anybody actually pick it up from the post box, because they're on strike permanently, aren't they? I know. Oh, don't get me going about that. Oh, that's another thing. Start of the month. I'm already fizzing. We haven't even started, have we? Back as ever to your royal story of the day. Now, again, what's fascinating about this particular piece, and as I say, how people keep people in pockets and such, in this feature, it was basically stated that Meghan decided through mutually, agreement that she was going to step back from a Spotify podcast. That's not exactly how the CEO saw it, if you remember, calling them grifters. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the bigger problem that you have for Meghan right now is that Netflix is teetering on the brink, because obviously after many years, all they've really had is that docu-series. Now, behind the scenes, I can tell you there's a bigger problem, because Prince Harry has openly stated, literally in the Oprah Winfrey interview, that he signed on because he needed the money and he was cut off financially. Another huge lie, as that came out, because the King's finances showed that in fact he'd funded Harry and Meghan for a year. Why he would say that, that's up to him. But now, as money becomes very tight, and this is apparently a concern for the British monarchy over here as to whether they will sign up again or indeed go down this route. And according to a source, as ever, we have to say allegedly, Meghan thinks they should. An update on their docu-series, but this time with a more positive spin. Now, you can understand, right, maybe Netflix now is showing a little bit of interest, but they don't want positive spin. They don't need a sort of PR spin. They want gossip and they want salaciousness, revelations, thoughts about Catherine's illness, you name it, that's what they're looking for. And this is a sticking block now if they get their next deal. As ever, we have to say allegedly, but this is from an excellent source. You see, Netflix have just been lumbered, if you like, with a cooking show that they really weren't that fussed about, and allegedly a polo show from Prince Harry. Everything else, the Heart of Invictus, Pearl Hit the Dust, everything else has been a total tank. Now, obviously, you can understand that Meghan's just got her eye on the funding, the money. She controls the purse strings, as I told you, and unless, of course, Prince Harry literally succumbs to this, he's in a very difficult position. As I pointed out, no money involved for an update on Spare, so no new chapters. Equally, of course, how could he have found those missing chapters that allegedly he'd wiped? You see how messy all this gets. But now, looking at funding, clearly the ex-royals have to think, what do they do next? Harry doesn't want to do it, Meghan's considering it. You see how this works out? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.